Welcome back. It's been around about a week since I last filmed here in my greenhouse and sowed some flowers. I've put a link just up above if you want to go and watch that video, but I'm really pleased to say that I have some germination. So I'll just quickly show you that now. I'm really pleased with the amount of germination I've got so far, and it's a real boost this time of the year considering it's still winter. It's been pretty nice and mild here, and at the moment in this greenhouse it's pretty hot and I probably need to take this off. So things are moving forward at a slightly faster pace, but I do need to be aware that the weather could change at any minute, and they're talking about another blast from the east coming across and bringing some of that Siberian air. So I need to make sure that my plants that I'm sowing now remain protected and don't get too ahead of myself. February isn't the best time to be sowing seeds. It's a little bit too early, and if you do sow them, you're going to need to make sure you've got something to help protect them from frost and potentially even a bit of extra heat through electricity or a windowsill to get them off and start them germinating. So one of the tasks that you can do this time of the year, which is definitely one that I'll be encouraging you to do, particularly if you've got the bug to start doing something in your garden, and that is to start chitting your potatoes. To grow potatoes in your own garden or in your allotment, you're going to need to start off with some seed potatoes, and this is a really good time of year to go and buy them. They'll be in your garden centres and potentially in your DIY stores, so get out there and have a look to see what you want. There are three main types of potatoes that you can buy. First crop, which generally are considered to be new potatoes, second crop and main crop. The titles of first early, second early and main crop indicate when those potatoes should be getting into the ground. So first earlies are ones that you'll be looking to try and sow around about late March. Then mid-April for your second earlies and late April for your main crops. Later on in the year, you'll be harvesting in a similar pattern with your first earlies coming first all the way through to main crops. Seed potatoes sold to you and I will usually come in bags like these, so around about 2 kilograms, which are pretty good because they tell you the variety and also give you some direction on how to sow them. Now these will require quite a lot of room, or you might not be able to get too many into a grow bag, so make sure you don't over buy these because they will go quite far. I'm going to be putting these down my allotment. I'm trying to make myself self-sufficient until midwinter with these. So I've got around about 8 kilograms at the moment. I might need a few more, but we'll see how that goes. For my purposes in my allotment, I've got 1 bag of first earlies, 1 bag of second earlies and 2 bags of main crops. And that's because I want to make sure I've got the most potatoes coming that will store well into those winter months coming up. So make sure you think about how you want to actually eat these and how much you're likely to eat them and how you're going to store them if you're going to do a big crop of them. So my first early is going to be foremost, which is going to be great for salad and boiling. These ones will hopefully hold their shape when you boil them, so they'll be really good in a salad. Maris pear is going to be my second earlies, similar, good for salads, boiling and also for mashing as well, so these will do pretty good over the course of this year. And my 2 main crops are going to be some classics of King Edward, which I love using for roasting, as well as Maris Piper, which again will be really good for some roasting and chips. So to prepare your potatoes for going out into the ground, it's a good idea to chit them. Now the research is a little bit hit and miss on this, but a lot of people do it, and the research does indicate that you might get a little bit of an increased yield from potatoes that have been chitted, but you don't have to. You can put them in the ground like this and they will produce other potatoes. Chitting is where you take these out and give them the ability to get access to some sun, and hopefully they'll start to sprout. As you can see on here, you've got these little eyes which will then start to sprout out. Now we don't want to get too leggy, so you don't want them to be stored somewhere which is going to be too dark, otherwise it will really stretch for the sun. You want them to be nice and compact, so we're going to make sure that they're somewhere not in direct sunlight but have access to some light as well, so that'll encourage it to grow well. To chit them, I'm putting them into egg boxes like this, so you can see it's holding them up quite nicely, so the majority of the eyes are pointing upwards, which will hopefully encourage the growth up there. Once they do start to grow, you don't need any more than really 4 or 5 of those sprouts coming out, so you can knock the remainder off to make sure that we focus all of the growth into those remaining shoots. As always, make sure you make some labels for this. You don't want to be mistaking your different types of potatoes, because you want to make sure that they're put out together, they grow together, and you can harvest them together. So it's quite a quick video on something that you can be doing this time of the year. Don't get caught out by this lovely weather we might be having in the UK at the moment. There is still a chance that we can have some hard frosts, even snow, between now and spring. So make sure anything you are doing now, you're protecting and making sure that the frost isn't going to get to it, and that includes your seed potatoes. If you do worry about frost with your seed potatoes, put some fleecing over the top just to keep that hard frost off of them, otherwise it will damage them. But this is a really good way to scratch that gardening itch that you might have this time of the year and make sure you feel like you're actually making some progress. So I'd like to thank all of the new subscribers. It's been absolutely brilliant to have you along for this. I'm hoping to try and get out videos weekly now as the weather improves. And if you do like this type of video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you next time.